Chapter 2. That the greatness and charity of God is shown to men in the sacrament. The voice of the disciple. Trusting in Thy goodness and great mercy, O Lord, I draw near, the sick to the healer, the hungering and thirsting to the fountain of life, the poverty-stricken to the King of heaven, the servant to the Lord, the creature to the Creator, the desolate to my own gentle Comforter. But whence is this unto me, that Thou comest unto me? Who am I that Thou shouldest offer me Thyself? How doth a sinner dare to appear before Thee? And how dost Thou vouchsafe to come to the sinner? Thou knowest Thy servant, and Thou knowest that he hath in him no good thing for which Thou shouldest grant him this grace. I confess therefore mine own vileness, I acknowledge Thy goodness, I praise Thy tenderness, and I give Thee thanks for Thine exceeding great love. For Thou doest this for Thine own sake, not for my merits, that Thy goodness may be more manifest unto me, Thy charity more abundantly poured out upon me, and Thy humility more perfectly commended unto me. Therefore, because this pleaseth Thee, and Thou hast commanded that thus it shall be, Thy condescension pleaseth me also, and O that mine iniquity hinder it not. O most sweet and tender Jesus, what reverence, what giving of thanks is due to Thee, with perpetual praise for the receiving of Thy sacred body and blood, the dignity whereof no man is found able to express. But what shall I think upon in this communion in approaching my Lord, whom I am not able worthily to honour, and nevertheless whom I long devoutly to receive? What shall be better and more healthful meditation for me than utter humiliation of myself before Thee, and exaltation of Thine infinite goodness towards me? I praise Thee, O my God, and exalt Thee for evermore. I despise myself, and cast myself down before Thee into the deep of my vileness. Behold, Thou art the Saint of saints, and I the refuse of sinners. Behold, Thou stoopest unto me, who am not worthy to look upon Thee. Behold, Thou comest unto me, Thou willest to be with me, Thou invitest me to Thy feast. Thou willest to give me the heavenly food and bread of angels to eat, none other in truth than Thyself, the living bread, which didst descend from heaven, and givest life to the world. John 6, verse 51. Behold, whence this love proceedeth, what manner of condescension shineth forth herein. What great giving of thanks and praise is due unto Thee for these benefits. O how salutary and profitable Thy purpose when Thou didst ordain this! How sweet and pleasant the feast when Thou didst give Thyself for food! O how admirable is Thy working, O Lord! How mighty Thy power! How unspeakable Thy truth! For Thou didst speak the word, and all things were made, and this is done which Thou hast commanded. A thing wonderful, and worthy of faith, and surpassing all understanding of man, that Thou, O Lord my God, very God and very man, givest Thyself altogether to us in a little bread and wine, and art so our inexhaustible food. Thou, O Lord of all, who hast need of nothing, hast willed to dwell in us through Thy sacrament. Preserve my heart and my body undefiled, that with a joyful and pure conscience I may be able very often to receive to my perpetual health Thy mysteries which Thou hast consecrated and instituted both for Thine honour and for a perpetual memorial. Rejoice, O my soul, and give thanks unto God for so great a gift and precious consolation, left unto thee in this vale of tears. For so oft as thou callest this mystery to mind, and receivest the body of Christ, so often dost thou celebrate the work of thy redemption, and art made partaker of all the merits of Christ. For the charity of Christ never groweth less, and the greatness of His propitiation is never exhausted. Therefore, by continual renewal of thy spirit, thou oughtest to dispose thyself hereunto, and to weigh the great mystery of salvation with attentive consideration. So great, new, and joyful ought it to appear to thee when thou comest to communion, as if on this self-same day Christ for the first time were descended into the Virgin's womb and becoming man, or hanging on the cross, suffering and dying for the salvation of mankind.